Okay, it's time for an update on my e-bike conversion. So I'll go through some of the stuff I've done and the things that still need to be done. As you can see, I got the original cranks and everything out of the bottom bracket. And I got the motor itself mounted. What I discovered was that I wasn't very strong, and I'm not very strong. I had a little bit of trouble with the cranks and getting the bearing units out and stuff, but I did manage it with the help of a breaker bar. So we got all that stuff out. I got the motor mounted and got my hand pedals reattached. I wasn't able to reuse my cranks because of the design of the crank. They would have fit on the shafts for the motor, but the one on the right here would not have cleared and had a built-in chain ring that could not be removed. I opted for a 36 tooth chain ring and discovered, once I started putting it on, that it didn't have enough offset. So the chain does not line up from the chain ring to the sprocket there on the hub. It sticks out. I expected the chain was going to be too long and planned to remove a few links, make it the right length, but I haven't gotten to that yet, and that's because, like I said, this chain ring doesn't have enough offset to line everything back up. So I've ordered a 44 tooth chain ring, which I didn't want to go that big, but I had no choice. To get it to clear this motor and stuff, it's got to be a bigger chain ring, this housing and stuff. So when that comes in, I'll go ahead and put that on. I also had to order chains, so I ordered 2 new chains to get enough length so I can get this to stretch from up here all the way to down there, and it will. I started the wiring. I've got the throttle on the, wow, that's way out of focus. There we go. I've got the throttle on the left, and the reason I did that was because I don't have room to put the throttle on the right with the shifter right there. There's not enough, length in this shaft to make that happen. So I could not make it happen, and I didn't want to put it on the weird bottom side of this because that would have been very awkward to use. Also, I had to run the control cable for the brake sensor as well on the same cable I'm using for the brake. So I got a lot of extra weight on there now, and I'm not too happy about it. I don't know if I'm going to have to put a rod of some sort in there to kind of give it a little more stiffness so we don't get any sag or anything and damage any cables, but we'll see how it goes. Also, I'm not keen on the shifter cable and the brake cable being on top of the motor like this, but there was no way to mount them behind the motor. The motor just swings down at too steep an angle, so I'm stuck with this. And we'll see how it goes. I don't think it's great, but it may not be a detriment. I got ready to install, I'll get that loose. I got ready to install the speed sensor wire. And I've got the speed sensor all set up to install as well. I've got the magnet installed already. But as you can see, if I get the camera pointed the right way, that's pretty short. It's not going to reach. It was meant to go on a standard bike, and that's just too long. It's got to go too far. So I ordered an extension for that. The extension I ordered is 2 feet long, though. It's just too long. I only need a few inches, and I couldn't find anything that short. But we'll cope. I've got the bike computer mounted, or the computer for the controller mounted. I don't know if I can get my legs past the bike lock there. There we go. I had to install a bracket to mount it on. That was not actually easy to do because I had to get it down in there, but I managed it. I might redo it. I might add another band in there to make that a little snugger, more snug. We'll see. But I got the control panel mounted. Let's see if I can just come up underneath that cable. There we go. There we are. So the cable, the display's mounted. I don't have it plugged in yet. I'll probably plug it in tomorrow when I go to work on this some more. So I got plenty to do yet. I don't know what each of these extra connectors do. I'm sure one of them is going to be for the shift sensor. And the other two look just like the ones for the handbrakes. And maybe they are. I just don't know. But I've got one handbrake plugged in already. And that should be all it takes. So I simply don't know. This, I believe, is going to be powered to the battery. I do have adapters so I can plug that in. And I think there's a small one down here somewhere. I have no idea where it is. There they are. And I don't know what that is. Maybe that's for the headlight? It came with a headlight. That might be what that's for. I don't know. So that's where I am with all of this. The cable routing is pretty good. I don't think it's going to be an issue. So we'll see once I get to riding it again. One drawback, I was using my stock handbrake, which included a lock so I could lock the brake. And this does not have such a lock. Nor was I able to find one that I could use on an e-bike that had a lock on it. And to transfer in and out of this thing from my chair and to my chair, I need this front wheel locked. This thing rolling around is going to murder me. I'll end up on the ground for sure, calling 911. So I have, in the meantime, ordered a little plastic doohickey that you can fit between the grip and the brake lever by just squeezing the brake lever down and looping that on. We'll see how that goes. If that works, I'll live with that for now while I research my options. That's about it so far. I did go ahead and get some reflectors mounted because there were no reflectors on this thing. There's one there. There's one there. There's one just like it on the other back wheel. And this is not a good shot, but there's another one mounted on the back there. You can sort of see. The aluminum plate I ordered to replace the seat bottom has been created. Cut the size for me, which is good because I didn't want to cut anything that big. It's showing as being prepared for shipment. We've got a tracking number. So I'll unscrew the seat bottom there, make measurements, drill holes in the aluminum plate, bolt that on. I'll get some nuts to go on the bolts, bolt that into place, and then I'm going to put a bunch of Velcro on that and Velcro a wheelchair seat cushion to the seat, and that will work fine. I use Velcro on all my wheelchair seat cushions to hold them in place, and it tends to work out okay. So that's where I am so far. This, by the way, represents about 8 hours worth of work. I've watched videos where guys have, while talking about doing it, have installed these things in like an hour or less. But I'm poking along pretty slow here. So it's been quite a trial trying to make this fit. I mean, these weren't really specifically made for hand cycles, but so far, hardware-wise, everything has gone pretty smoothly. I haven't run across any real issues trying to get anything to fit or mount. I mean, other than cabling issues, it's gone quite well, and other than having no written instructions, you're going to have to watch plenty of YouTube videos. You can see here, right there, where I've got the shaft on the motor on the non-chain side bolted on nice and tight. That worked out really well too. One thing I did discover was that the bearings that I took out are not in terrific condition. And maybe that was helping to lead to the trouble I was having pedaling. It seems likely. And here's the, let me see if I can grab it there. There we go. Here's the unit I took out. And I cannot get that to focus. And there's not much to hang on to. I don't want to get my hands greasy. But the bearings are terrible. There's quite a bit of drag on that thing. I had no idea how bad it was. So there's the story on that. At least we have another update on my saga here. But if I get enough work done on this thing tomorrow, I might get a chance to try it out, see how it goes.